Happy New Year, first workshop of 2024. Who wants to make this the healthiest year ever? Raise your hand. Yes. And you're already taking action. You give yourselves a round of applause just for showing up today. You deserve it. Action is the hardest part. So many people want things but don't take the necessary action to get the results they want and then complain that they don't have the things that they want. Right? You guys are action takers. You took the step to be here today, and that itself is valuable. So you should be proud of yourself because obviously health is a priority for you. Otherwise, you would not be here. There's a million excuses of other things you could be doing tonight, but instead you're investing in yourself. And I can tell you that's going to lead to more energy this year, better health this year, better quality of life for the years to come. So we're glad you're here. Looking forward to sharing with you tonight some cutting-edge natural solutions to recovering from the holidays. How about many of us got a little bit off track at the end of the year? Yep, a little bit off track with our diet, right? A little bit off track with our routines and our exercise, a little bit off track with our healthy habits. Happens to everybody, happens to me too. So rather than that carrying over into the year and compounding to less energy and more pain and more illness and more chronic health concerns, we want to turn that around and set the tone for a healthy, vital, energetic, amazing year. That's why we're here, right? That's what we're going to focus on. And we've been here now just over 11 years. 11 years here in this location, changing lives and helping people live a better life naturally. And some really cool things that's coming along is we're actually moving to a new location in next month, bigger office, more space, newer everything, so that we can better serve you and your family to living a healthy life naturally. We want to be the cutting edge place for natural health solutions in our community. So we're excited to have all of you join us there in the next month. You'll be learning more about it, but it's awesome. It's right off Rockland Road, very convenient, right off the freeway, very easy to get to, right near Sierra College. It's our own standalone building. It's going to be an amazing experience. We're super excited for it. We've been working for it for a while. It's being built out right now with everything we learned here in the time that we've been here. So super excited to share that with you guys. Look forward to getting you over there in the next couple of months where we continue to do our workshops and events and all the great things that you've been experiencing in the time that you've been here. So when we look at the holiday hangover, right, maybe some of you have been experiencing this. Maybe you're a little bit more tired, right, starting off the new year as you're getting back to work and you're getting back to school and you're getting back to your activities and the regular life that maybe you got a little bit off track with. Maybe you got sick. Maybe you had a cold or a flu or something came up, or maybe your spouse or your kids got sick and that threw you off your routine, right? That happens, especially a lot this time of year. We had a lot of patients who missed because they were sick or they were taking care of somebody else who was sick. And when you're not feeling well, it's hard to stay on track with all the good things you want to do. Maybe you're feeling the effects and some of the issues started coming back. The digestive issues started coming back. The headaches started coming back. Pain started coming back because you fell off track with those healthy habits and you're feeling the stress of what's going on. Maybe you gained a couple pounds over the holidays, right? That happens. That's why one of the number one resolutions in the new year is, I want to lose weight, right? But what does that really mean, I want to lose weight? Right? Is there a specific plan? Is there action steps? Is there someone guiding you and holding you accountable? Right? When it comes to being healthy, you want to have a plan. So what I want to introduce you today is something called the anti-resolution, right? It's not about doing more this year. So you can take a breath. Thank goodness. I don't got to add 15 more things in on my to-do list this year that I got to check off by the end of the year and stress out. The goal of this year is actually to do less and live more. Do the things that really matter and let go of a lot of the things that don't. So did everybody grab a packet? Everybody has a pen? Yep. Okay. So one of the action steps for today is to take notes. Right? This isn't just for the information just to flow over you and you're just going to let it soak into your body and all of a sudden these amazing changes are going to happen. To see change happen, you got to take action, right? So today's about giving you the action steps to apply and the pathway to do it so you can be successful. So when we look at these here, there's 4 key steps. How many? 4. Okay, we're paying attention. Excellent. 4 key steps. Number 1, no more ignoring your personal well-being. I see this all the time. I take care of my mom. I take care of these people. I take care of my family. I take care of this and that. I take care of my work. You take care of everybody else, but you forget to take care of you. But if you're tired, if you're sick, If you're suffering from health issues, if your body's not working right, or you're not around anymore, are you going to be able to help anybody? No. So to help more people and to serve your highest purpose and be your best self, you have to be number one first. So important. So stop sacrificing yourself for everything else, right? It's easy to do, but it's not healthy. Number 2, no more excuses. So today we might challenge your thinking a little bit. Maybe some things I say that maybe upset you a little bit. But what I challenge you to do is think internally about, what am I telling myself that's actually keeping me from reaching my dreams and living my best life? Because a lot of times we're our own worst enemy. And what we'll do is we'll make these excuses, we'll make these justifications, we'll blame situations around us, which are real and are happening. But the truth is, only you can change you. Only you can fix your issues. And the hard truth sometimes is you caused your issues or you allowed them to happen. And so just taking that responsibility for who you are, right? Our goal is to take ownership of our life. You don't want life to be something that happens to you. It's something that you do. So if you're not where you want to be in your health, it's because of what you did up to this point. The decisions you made, the actions you took, where you invested your time and resources led you to where you are right now. And where you want to be in a month or 6 months or a year or 5 years determined by what you do right now. So you have an opportunity to change what you do, to change your outcomes. You were not destined to be where you were or where you are right now. You were created for so much greater. And that takes responsibility, right? No more blaming stuff. No more blaming the economy. No more blaming the government. No more blaming your spouse or your kids or your work or your boss or anything else for where you are right now. Can we all agree on that? Excellent. Number 3, no more people pleasing. How many commitments do you have that you really don't want to do, that you don't care about just because you want to be nice? Just because you don't want to say no, just because you want to be available. It's good to have things that you're involved in. But it's also important to learn how to say no. Learn how to say no, right? No is okay, right? We don't want to keep loading our plate with more so that you're more stressed and you don't have the time for the things that really matter, right? We want to say no to as many things as possible, which goes to this last one, which is no more multitasking. We try to trick ourselves like, I can do a lot all at once. I can drive and text and email all at the same time. I can make dinner and watch the news and help the kids with their homework all at the same time. Fact is, it's not true. They've studied this a lot. The more you multitask, the dumber you get. Totally true. It's absolutely true. In fact, even trying to do 2 tasks at once, your IQ goes down by 10 points. Yes. Right? So you think about why so many things like this happen and why productivity is going down and people are so stressed, because we're trying to do so many things all at once. Right? And there's so many distractions pulling our attention. So we're constantly multitasking, which makes us less productive. So everything takes more time and the result is actually worse. So what I challenge you to do is single task focus. Do one thing at a time and avoid the distractions. No TV in the background, no sound in the background, no phone sitting right next to you, bzz, beeping, clicking, flashing lights, right? Get rid of all that stuff. One single task at a time. Be where you are and you're actually going to be happier for it as well. And your brain's not going to be working so hard, so it's not taking as much energy and you have more energy for the things that you want to. By comparison, the study I was looking at that talked about this, they said when you're stoned, you lose 5 IQ points, okay? So multitasking, you're actually twice as dumb as being under the influence of drugs. So if you think about that, we want a single task focus. Do less to live more this year. Sound good? Write that down. It's your new motto. Right? So what do we want to do is we want to switch the thing as to, okay, my self-care has to be my top priority if I want to be healthy this year. My wife, Dr. Catherine, and I, we looked at our goals and our vision for the year, and we sat down for hours and hours and went through all this. And we both agreed that to accomplish these things, our self-care had to be number 1 this year. Taking care of yourself, making sure that you put your oxygen mask on first, right? You guys have all been on planes before, right? What do they always say every time? Put your oxygen mask on first before you help anybody else. You know why? Because if you pass out on the floor, you're not helping the person next to you. If you're in the exit row and you're passed out, you're not helping people get off the plane, right? If you don't take care of you, you can't take care of everybody else, which goes back to the last one. Don't just please everybody all the time. Don't take on more responsibility. Make your self-care number one. And then you'll find that you can actually do more. And the best times to do self-care is at the very beginning and end of the day. Because who knows what happens during the day, right? We can't control that. But you can control what happens in the first part, and you can control what happens at the end. So if you can just learn to master those areas, your life will radically change. Bookend your days. Simplify and go lean where you can. Don't make things more difficult. What things can you get rid of this year? What obligations can you get rid of? What responsibilities can you get rid of, right? What are things that you can give off to somebody else who's probably better at it, enjoys it more than you, right? Learn to delegate and trust other things to be done. Where can you simplify your life? I was just reading about minimalism recently. Has anybody heard about this? It's pretty cool. It's not about having nothing. It's about only having the stuff that matters. How many things have we just accumulated over the years that once we thought we really needed, that now just sits in the shelf or it's in the garage, or that 80th pair of shoes shoved away in the closet that you haven't worn in 3 years, right? That's the idea, is where can we go lean? Where can we just get rid of all the stuff that doesn't matter, that doesn't bring joy, that doesn't bring meaning and purpose in your life? How do we get rid of a lot of that stuff so we can focus on the important things? So that's number 3. Do the things that give you significance and meaning more often. A lot of times we don't have the time to do the things we really want to do because we're busy doing the stuff. The sometimes urgent but typically not important stuff that you check off the list that makes you feel like you accomplished something, but you really didn't. Not a lot happened. So when we start focusing on what are the most important things and we do those things first, you're going to be more productive. And then get good at saying no. We talked about this. There's actually a good rule of thumb is to create a no system. Like, how are you going to say no? When someone asks you to go do something, how are you going to say no? Right? When you're invited to something you don't really want to go to and is not that exciting, how are you going to say no? How are you going to respond no in your emails? How are you going to respond no back in your text messages? You want to have a plan because nobody wants to be mean or doesn't want to be available, right? But you want to have a good way of saying no in your life to the things that are not a absolute yes. Absolute yes, I want to do that. If it's not absolutely yes, then it should be a no. Not a maybe or a we'll see. It should be a no, right? Because then again, it opens you up to do the things that are really important. And when it comes to your health, all this stuff matters. How many times you said, I'm too busy to do these things. I'm too busy to work out. I'm too busy to do these activities. I don't have time to do this. Right? I don't have the energy to do this. And so it just keeps getting put on the back burner. It keeps getting put on the side. You guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody's had these experiences, and eventually you wind up at a place like, how did I get here? Because it doesn't happen overnight. You don't skip the gym today and you gain 20 pounds tomorrow. It doesn't happen like that. It happens over months and years, and things break down and the issues compound, and eventually you just get to this point where you're tired and sick and in pain, and you're just like, what's going on with my life? Now we want to start shifting it, and this is where it starts. It starts by changing the way you view and manage your health and understanding how health actually works and where energy comes from. So when we look at this paradigm, we've looked at this in many different ways. If you've been to a lot of our past workshops, right, this neutral point is the most dangerous point in your health. This is the point where you feel kind of okay. You feel okay. You don't have any health conditions. You're not taking a buttload of medications. You're not in chronic pain all the time. You feel okay. You don't feel great. You don't feel vital and amazing. You're not at your absolute fitness. You're not at your ideal weight, but you feel okay. So you think that everything's just fine. You go to your doctor and you get your checkup and no major things come up. Oh, your blood pressure's a little high. Your numbers are a little off here. So we're just going to give you this pill or that pill and you're fine until you come back next year and it's the same thing. So what starts to happen is if we don't pay attention to these things, the signs start showing up. Your body's really smart, right? It doesn't cause harm. It always wants to help you be better. So the signs and the effects show up to tell you there's a problem that you need to look at, right? That could be pain. That could be poor sleep. That could be poor energy. That could be a digestive problem. Could be a hormone imbalance. Could be unexplained weight gain or weight loss. It could be so many different things that there's a pill, potion, and lotion for, and 1,000 diagnoses that we could give you. But every single one of those is saying your body's under more stress than it can handle. And the system is overwhelmed and you don't have what you need to be healthy. So things are starting to break down. And then the symptoms start getting worse. This is when they start becoming more chronic, right? It used to just be here and there, not that big of a deal. You can kind of ignore it or cover it up. But now you can't just ignore it. It's there. It's affecting your day-to-day. It's affecting your life, right? You feel it. You know it's a problem. And then eventually that gets diagnosed into disease. And disease leads to early death. We're not meant to die of cancer at age 50 or Alzheimer's at age 60 or diabetes at 55, right? That's not normal. But 5 out of 6 Americans have a chronic health condition that will likely take their life early. That's not normal. You see, healthy is normal. That's what we want to focus on. Healthy is normal. Sickness, all this side, is not normal. Right? So like we said, we got to take responsibility for these things and start moving in this direction. So number one, right here, awareness. Awareness that there is a solution. That my body tells me what's going on and I need to seek cause rather than condition. I need to work on function and health rather than treatment and symptom management. Right? Who wants to be taking more pills this year? More medications? Who loves going to the doctor's office? Who wants more surgeries this year? Nobody, right? But what happens when you get down here? That's exactly what happens. More drugs, more surgeries, more doctor visits, more health problems. And that does not solve your problem. And it will actually accelerate your pathway down this way. So we want to start moving in this direction where we're now taking better action. Taking better action, doing the things that we know are healthy for us, which will eventually lead to your optimum health. Who would like to be at their optimum health? Raise your hand. 10 out of 10. Optimum health, right? Optimum health isn't just the absence of disease. It's not just feeling okay. It's when things are working at their optimal. So chiropractic started well over 100 years ago. And B.J. Palmer was one of the people that developed chiropractic and really brought it to the mainstream. And one of the things he talked about, even back then, even before medicine was a thing, was that medicine is about disease and what makes people die. They've been studying that from the very beginning. So if you want to know more about managing disease, that's exactly where you want to go. Chiropractic is about life and what makes people live. That's exactly what we work with. We work at the brain and nervous system, your life force, everything that regulates health and healing in your body. That's why it's so cool. Now there are stresses that we're under. These 3 stresses, thoughts, toxins, and trauma, which we're going to focus on here today, are the things that will interfere with and insult your nervous system, will overwhelm your body to the point where it can no longer regulate health, where it can no longer heal you as designed, and it starts leading to that downward trajectory. So the first thing we want to do is recognize what these things are, so we can start taking different actions, which will eventually lead to a different result. Does that make sense? Yeah. Outstanding. So number 1 is your thoughts, right? Right up here starts everything, because only you can choose to take different action. Only you can choose to make your health a priority. Only you can really do the work, because health is not a passive thing. It's not something that somebody does to you or for you. Health is something that you do. So to be healthy, you have to do healthy, which is a daily thing. And it's done for the rest of your life. There's no point where you just stop working on it and everything's good. You got to keep putting effort in. And that's how life is, right? Is there an area where you could just stop putting effort in and it just keeps getting better? Right? Can you stop going to church and praying and getting your Bible and your relationship with God just gets magically better? Can you ignore your wife and your kids and your relation gets amazing? Can you just do the bare minimum work and you're getting raises and promotions? No. You got to constantly work on being better. And that's how we're designed. Like, how good do you feel when you're accelerating in areas of your life, where you're growing and learning and you're contributing and you're making a difference? You feel better. And then that builds motivation and you keep doing those good things. Right? So we have these 4 limited resources: time, energy, focus, and money. These things are always pulling on us. Everything's pulling on us all the time, right? From advertising to the people around us to everything in life. Social media is pulling on your time, it's pulling on your energy, it's pulling on your focus, and it's pulling on your money. More now than ever. There's a million distractions, right? Right now on your phone, it's probably coming up with something like an email or a text message or a Facebook message. Buy this, do this, get this thing. It's going to make your life better. But is it really? Maybe some of them are. Maybe some of you found us on Facebook and that's how you ended up in the office. So every once in a while it comes up with something good, right? But most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. You don't really need that new cool sweater that came out, and you don't need that swag pair of shoes or that new gadget. Most of those things really, they tell you it's going to make your life better and make you happy, but a lot of times it doesn't. So we got to start learning how to use our resources in the best way possible to actually get you what you want in your life. So when we look at stress, we're going to go through a little bit of physiology lesson here today. So if you haven't looked at that in a while, that's okay. There's two parts of the stress response. Right? There's a part of your nervous system that is fight or flight, sympathetic. And there's a part that's parasympathetic, which is relaxation, digestion, healing. So when you're under stress, let's look at these different areas. When you're under stress, what do you think happens to your blood pressure? Does it go up or does it go down? It goes up. How many people suffer with high blood pressure? A ton of people, right? That's a stress response. That's your body telling you, hey, you're under more stress than your autonomic nervous system can handle, so we're going to have to push up your blood pressure to keep things going, which at first is just a sign or a symptom, but eventually leads to a disease process. What about your heart rate? When you're stressed, does it go up or down? Goes up, right? What about your muscle tone? What do you think? It gets more tense, right? Because what is it preparing for? It's preparing for a fight. It's preparing to run away. So your muscles get more blood flow. They get ready to go, right? But who likes tight, tense muscles all the time? Nobody. It's great when you're in that fight or flight mode, but 24/7, not great. Not comfortable, right? Limited mobility, joint pain, dysfunction, all kinds of problems. What about digestion? Under stress, does digestion go up or down? Down. It goes down, yes. Your digestion actually slows down and stops working because the blood flow is going to other parts of your body. The digestion is sacrificed. Sympathetic nervous system, this is the stress part. This goes up, more awareness, more heightened, tense. What is that? That's stress, that's anxiety, constantly heightened all the time. Parasympathetic nervous system goes down, starts shutting off. All the things that push brake on your nervous system start going away and they don't work anymore. What about fear and anxiety? Up. How do you get people to do things? Put them in fear, put them in anxiety, put them in stress, right? Do you make your best decisions here? Nope, not at all, right? You do things you wouldn't normally do. Good way to control people. Immune response, up or down? Goes down, right? That's why you get sick more often when you're stressed. What about your insulin sensitivity? Insulin sensitivity starts going down, right? So now you're not using it as much, right? That's how you get diabetes, right? Because you're putting so much sugar in the system and it stops working. And your blood sugar goes up. High blood sugar, that's a health problem, right? That's diabetes, that's weight gain, that's all kinds of problems. What about your good cholesterol? Goes down. Bad cholesterol? Goes up. Clotting factors starts going up, right? The stress response, you're getting ready for an injury, you're getting ready for something to happen. Your body's sending more of this response going out. Now you got thicker blood, you got heart problems, you got high blood pressure, higher heart rate, sex drive, reproduction.
Individual basis.
Typically goes down because it's affecting your hormone levels, right? So you think about all this stuff right here. Can you see how stress leads to so many different health and disease problems? And your body's meant to deal with stress, but when these things are constantly going on, it starts to affect your nervous system and it no longer works properly. So this part here, this high sympathetic, is when it's been going on shorter term, right? So this is going to be the signs and symptoms zone where you get poor digestion, poor sleep, irritability, sweating, mood changes, focus problems, neurodevelopmental disorders, chronic pain, right? That's high sympathetic. Those are some of the signs that you feel these things are coming on. Low parasympathetic. So this is when the system's designed to turn off stress no longer work. It's just been in fight or flight for so long, these things don't even happen. Now we're severe digestive problems, depression, hormone issues, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, adrenal fatigue, brain fog, mood issues, memory loss, autoimmune disorder, immune compromise, all the really bad stuff starts happening over here. How many people live over here? Right? So when you look at these things, right, these things don't just happen overnight. They build up over time. So we want to look at, number one, how's the nervous system working? How do we get this back in balance? And what are the stresses in my life that are affecting that? So we want to stop doing all the negative things that are creating more stress in our life. Right? We already talked about some of those things. We want to slow down the things that we can't really get rid of that are part of our life, but maybe we don't have to put as much attention on them. We can let them go a little bit, right? There are certain areas of our life that stress is just not going away, but we can minimize it. We can make it a little bit better. And then we can start doing more of the positive things. These are the positive things that are life-bringing, life-giving, that will actually change what you want in your life. That's the goal. So when you look at your goals for the year, you don't want to just look at, I want to do this thing. It's, I need to stop doing this. I want to slow down this. I want to start doing these things here. And what does that process look like? Well, I can tell you after being a chiropractic patient for well over 20 years and serving patients in chiropractic for over 13 years, chiropractic is one of the best ways to help your body deal with stress. Chiropractic changed my life when I was just 16 years old and totally changed the way I view to manage my health ever since. Went from being sick and in pain and all kinds of health problems to now none of those problems. And I give chiropractic the credit for a lot of that, as well as the lifestyle things that we've learned. And when you really study and you research and you learn about it, these are some of the side effects of lifetime chiropractic care. So like other habits, it's not something you do for a short period of time and then the benefits just continue to accelerate. You got to keep doing the things that's healthy for you. You got to keep getting adjustment. You got to continue to evaluate your progress. You got to do home care and spinal exercises. These are the side effects of chiropractic. Better autonomic function, better hormone function, better heart function, better immune function, more muscle strength, better heart rate variability, which is your ability to deal with stress, range of motion, less stress, better reaction time, better information processing, quicker recovery, general better health, reproductive hormones are better, reduced labor times in pregnant moms, and the list goes on and on and on, right? What do most of the medical treatment side effects look like? You guys ever watch those TV commercials? Right, you're watching football on Sunday and then 84 drug ads come up, right? What's the last 15, 20 seconds every time? It's all side effects. It's all side effects. How it's going to make you sicker, right? How this procedure is going to make you sicker, how this pill is going to make you sicker, right? And that doesn't matter if that's ibuprofen, that doesn't matter if it's a muscle relaxer, that doesn't matter if it's the strongest drug out there. They all have side effects, right? They're all going to take away from your life long term because they're not natural. They're chemicals. They're tricking your body. Right? When they actually studied chiropractic, this is one of my favorite studies that was ever done in chiropractic. 7 years they followed these people. It was a large group of people, hundreds and hundreds of people. And a group of them saw their chiropractor as their primary doctor. They went to their chiropractor at least every other week. Some people say, I go to see a chiropractor regularly. I'm like, how often? Well, I was there like 6 months ago. Or I go like a couple times a year or once a month. I'm like, that's not regular. That doesn't count. If you went to the gym once a month, would you get more fit? No. Is that your trainer's fault? No, of course not, right? If you just went to the dentist every 6 months and got a checkup but didn't brush your teeth and didn't floss and do anything else, how would that look every 6 months? It would probably look pretty bad. You'd be like, what's going on? I thought I just had to come in every 6 months and I was fine. No, not at all. You got to keep up with things. So here's the cool results. 7 years they followed these people and they looked at their health. 60% less hospitalizations of the chiropractic group. And nobody raised their hand and said, I want to go to the hospital more. 60% less days in the hospital. So even when they did have to go to the hospital, they recovered faster and they got out of there quicker. 60% less time. 62% less surgeries. Pretty awesome, right? Nobody wanted more surgeries. This is one of my favorite ones. 85% less pharmaceutical costs. 85%. So if you don't want to be taking more drugs, you don't want more surgeries, you don't want more doctor visits, you don't want to wind up in the hospital, the best way to do that is to take care of your body naturally. And that's why we see people reverse disease, cancel surgeries, get off medications, reverse health problems. It's because the body's designed to heal itself. And chiropractic works with the system that heals your body. So the two go together, hand in hand. That's why that's always the foundation of everything that we do. Now there's other really important things that you do too. One of the best ways to have more energy this year is to sleep better. Who would like to sleep better this year? Yeah, because when you sleep is when things start to recover. That's when your nervous system resets. If you're not sleeping or not sleeping well, your body never catches up. And every day you're waking up more tired, more overwhelmed. You didn't recover, you didn't get any better. So sleep is super important. There's a couple of key things to sleep. How many of you came to the sleep workshop last year? A couple people. Hope you've been applying what you learned. Hope you've been getting better sleep. I've been tracking my sleep now for probably about a year and a half through an Oura Ring, and there's a lot of ways to do this. Very interesting. If you really want to know what's going on with your sleep, I encourage you to track it. Then you can do Whoop, you can do the iWatch. There's lots of things that you can do now that are relatively inexpensive and pretty easy to do. But this is the key thing that you can measure and see. How are you actually sleeping? Are you getting into REM sleep? Are you getting deep sleep? Are you waking up? Are you waking up recovered? The recovery score is one of my favorites because you can see not only did you sleep, but what was your recovery like? What's your heart rate variability look like? What was your breathing rate and your heart rate while you were sleeping? And you can see like how is your body actually recovering, and you can make changes and see the results that are happening. It's really cool. You want to have a rhythm of sleep. When sleep's sporadic And it's like, well, some days I go to bed at 8. Some days I go to bed at midnight. Other days I go to bed at 10. I wake up at 5 or 7 or 8 or 6. There's no rhythm there. Your body works in a rhythm. Try to go to bed at the same times, wake up around the same times. Now we're going to have variables in there, but you don't want to wake up at 5 all week and then sleep until 10 on the weekends. You're going to mess up your sleep rhythm. You want to try to keep it relatively sane. You want to go to bed earlier and wake up earlier. In fact, the best times for your body to sleep is between the hours of like 10 to 5. Like that's the primary times where physiologically our bodies are designed to sleep. If you have a regular cycle, right? You don't work at night or something like that. But for the average person, for the beginning of time, people would wake up with the sun and they would go to bed with the sun. Maybe they had a little fire and that was it. But they weren't on TV till 2 a.m., right? They weren't on their phone, on social media. They didn't have these fake lights everywhere. And that was for the last only 100 years or so did this really change. Our physiology hasn't changed. Our genetics haven't changed at all. We're still the same people. Now we're just messing with it. Naps is a key biohack, right? If you're not getting naps in, naps are amazing. Even a 20-minute nap can make up for an hour or more of lost sleep. So try to sneak naps in. Get good at napping this year. The key thing, though, is you don't want to go over 20 minutes. Because if you go over 20 minutes, now you're starting to hit the REM cycle of sleep. And if you don't nap for at least 90 minutes, you're going to wake up more tired. So it's got to be less than 20 minutes. And sometimes those little 20-minuters can just get you going. Even 10 or 15 minutes is enough for the system to kind of calm down, reset, and get going for the rest of the day. So rather get that second or third cup of coffee or pound an energy drink, take a quick nap. It takes the same amount of time to go to Starbucks and wait in the drive-thru line as it does to take a quick nap. Imagine if you just did that. Imagine if you added some things in there too, like laying on your sleep aids, using binaural beats, using certain types of other things that are available that I'm not going to get into today, but there are many things available to help your nervous system and your body calm down, relax, sleep. Even if you just did there and did deep breathing for 10 or 15 minutes, you're going to get a good reset. Control your mindset, quiet your mind, right? When we do these things, we want to have time, especially before you're going to bed at night. Quiet your mind. You don't want to just be like, shoo, and then poof, time to go to bed, right? It doesn't work like that. Get some habits in. Maybe you like to read. Maybe you like to do journaling. Do some brain dumping. Like a lot of times people can't go to sleep because they're so stressed about the day or what's coming up tomorrow. Write all that stuff down. Boom. Unload it. Let it go. Learn to quiet your mind. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's gratitude. Maybe it's reading. There's so many things that you can do, but get in the habit of quieting your mind and controlling your mindset. You set the tone, not thinking about what does everybody else need from me today or tomorrow, whatever it is, right? That's that beginning and end of the day. And when you start doing this, you'll find your sleep's better. Your sleep is better and you wake up feeling better and you wake up more energized. And there's no quick hack of not getting sleep. People try it all the time and say, oh, I can get away with 5 hours sleep. Can you really? Maybe you can for a short period of time where you feel like you can, but it's going to catch up to you. And the younger you are, so all of you with kids, your kids really need sleep. They really, really do. Look at this. Even like 5 to 12-year-olds need 9 to 11 hours of sleep. Even your teenagers, who typically get the least amount of sleep, which is why anxiety and depression, so many health issues are so rampant in the teenage years now, because they're up till 2 a.m. playing video games or on social media or on their computer, right? And they got to get up for school at 6 or 7, and they got like 5 hours sleep. That's not cool. You can't do that. Your brain and nervous system is still developing. They need 9 to 10 hours of sleep. And adults, we need 7 to 8 hours sleep. It's what you need, 7 to 8 hours sleep. I can tell you, tracking this, when I get less than 7, my scores are always lower. And 9 or 10 one day doesn't make up for a couple of days of 6 or 5. It doesn't. It really does not. I can tell you, when it's low, it can sometimes take a week or two to catch up and get things back in balance. Even one poor night of like 4 or 5 hours of sleep could take 3, 4, 5 days for your body to actually recover from that. So it's not just, burn the midnight oil and then I'm going to catch up on Sunday. That doesn't work. We got to get into a better rhythm. And one of the great ways to get better sleep is to exercise. Right? So that's another tip of having more energy this year is exercising. At least 5 to 6 days a week. And this doesn't have to be a bone-crushing 2-hour workout every time. It isn't going to be an hour and a half on the treadmill. It could be 15 minutes. It could be 20 minutes. It could be playing a sport you like or going on a walk with your family or going on a hike, whatever it could be. We want to get some type of exercise. Now, if you can really get to moderate exercise, this is when you really get the benefits of your sleep. because when you push your body, it has a higher need for recovery. So when you go to sleep, it's easier for your body to get in a deeper sleep because your body wants to recover. So if you really push yourself, right, you do some weight training exercise, you do some hard work where your heart rate really gets up, now you're going to get better sleep because your body wants to recover. You want to go to bed. It's easier to go to bed. You've had those days where you just worked really hard and nighttime came and just poof, I'm out, right? It's easier to go to bed because your body wants to get that recovery. So 150 minutes divided by 7 days a week is not a lot, right? That's like 20 minutes a day, right? That's it. That's all you need. We can all do 20 minutes a day, right? Yeah. There's 24 hours. If you can't make 20 minutes for yourself to do some exercise, right, something's wrong. Things are out of priority. So that's what we want to look at, is how do we get time back so we can do the things that are important? And maybe right now, a vigorous exercise for you could be taking a walk. It could be just doing some light stuff. But eventually, as you get stronger, you start to step that level up, and it makes a big difference. So here's 21 days to improve your sleep. So if sleep is an issue for you, here's some things you want to write down. Before you go to bed, do some journaling. Quiet that mind. Have a blank journal. And it doesn't have to be any kind of specific way. Just write what's on your mind. Whatever comes to your mind, write it down. Just write it down. Read a real book, okay? Not a Kindle book, not your phone book or an iPad, like an actual paper book, right? Those two still do exist. So read an actual book. Could be, whatever you want. It could be a storybook. It could be a personal development book. It could be a workbook. It doesn't matter what book it is. Just read a book. Try to go to bed between 10 and 10:30 at the latest and wake up a little bit earlier. Try waking up a little bit earlier. You actually will do better waking up earlier. Make sure your room's dark and make sure you don't have any kind of electronics in your room. No Wi-Fi, no smart TV, no digital clocks, all that stuff. It's all submitting electromagnetic frequency that messes with your sleep rhythm, right? So make sure if you have a phone in there, put that thing on airplane mode, right? Try not to have screens or TVs or things like that in your room. If those are in there, take them out, right? Your bedroom should be your sleep zone. You want to make sure it's cool and dark, right? Those are all the things you need to get better sleep. These are all things you don't want to do. Don't use a bunch of lights. Don't watch TV before you go to sleep or on your phone until the last second. That keeps your brain awake, okay? Don't use your cell phone, and don't keep looking at the clock wondering what time it is. How late is it? What time should I get up? So these are things that you can do, and these are habits. And as you start doing habits, your body will get in a better rhythm, and you will start sleeping better. We already talked about exercise. Exercise helps you sleep, but it also helps your body deal with stress. We're designed to move. I mean, we really are. And in a sedentary life now, most people don't move. There's a portion of the population, like 30 to 40%, that just doesn't move at all. That would be completely sedentary, right? They get up, they go to their car, they go to work, they sit all day at work, they sit in their car back home, they sit on the couch when they get home. That's it. 30 to 40%. That's crazy. Even a solid amount of our teenagers are not even fit for military service anymore. They're taking this stuff out of school and they're saying more time behind your computer, less time outside playing and doing recreational activities, less time for creativity and all the things that are actually really good for you and your health. We're going to take that away. There's not enough time, but there's a lot more time for this other stuff that isn't as important. So you got to get out and move. And for families, I recommend having activities that you guys do together. Go on a walk together, exercise together, include your family and the people that are around you in those things. Because it's hard to do something just by yourself. When you guys start doing it, it becomes a lifestyle, it becomes really easy. When exercise is a lifestyle, you just do it. You may have a bad day or a bad week, but you always come back to it. But until it is, it's something that's kind of a bit of a pain and it's harder to do. So you want to create exercise as a lifestyle. This also improves your insulin sensitivity, which is why a lot of people lose weight once they start exercising. It helps your nervous system calm down. It boosts your energy and your mood. We release all kinds of good hormones when you exercise. You release growth hormone and serotonin and dopamine, all these great things that make you feel good that people try to get from other sources or that they're taking a medication for to supplement in their life. Just if you exercise, your body naturally produces all these things. How good do you feel after a workout? Yeah, after you went on a nice hike outdoors, you feel great, right? It's because you're getting all these things that your body's naturally producing, which is all right there. So if you just exercise more, you're going to feel way better. You're going to feel more energized because that's what's supposed to happen. There's different types of exercise. So there's high impact exercise, right? So You can go run, you can go hike, you can go weight lift, you can do heavy type things, which is good for your body. We want to do some high intensity because you want to challenge the system. You want to challenge your heart. You want to challenge these other things. You want to sweat a little bit, right? You want to put some effort in there because that's how you actually come back stronger. And one of the best ways to have longevity is to maintain muscle mass. They're finding it now a lot that people that are aging more quickly and having neurodevelopmental problems and major health issues, they're actually seeing that there's a direct correlation that they're having less muscle mass. So when people aren't working out or they're not exercising and their muscle mass goes down, their metabolism goes down and their immune system goes down and the digestive system's affected and the brain starts degenerating faster and it leads to dementia and Alzheimer's and all these other problems as a result of this muscle wasting happening. Now, as you get older, it's easier and easier for your body to kind of go away because you're not producing a lot of the same things that you did. But it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You could still exercise, you could still work out. There's plenty of people that are in their 80s and 90s and they run marathons and they're super fit, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter your current level of health. You can start exercising right now. You can do low impact exercise. You can do swimming. You can do walking. You can do biking, right? These things, if it's like, I can't run, well, you can do something else, right? There's something that everybody can do. It doesn't matter. You may have a limitation. It may not be what you used to be able to do. We want to stop comparing ourselves to that last one. You know, when I was 20, I could do this. Well, maybe you can't do that anymore. I can't do some of the stuff I could when I was 20. I'm still in good health and good fitness. And I wouldn't even try some of the stuff because it was pretty dumb, actually. And it injured me a lot of times. So I'm going to take some of those things away. Right? Stop thinking about what you could do or what you want to do, but what you can do now, right? And focusing on that. And then what you'll see is it becomes easier and better. Right? Don't let your limitations hold you back. And one of the hacks of exercise is short duration, high intensity exercise. So in your packet, right, there's a couple of key things in here to make this easy for you. One of these is a worksheet that shows fitness. Let me see if I know it's in here. It's like page 2 or 3, I think. The fitness one. Yep, there it is. Right here. It looks like this. So these are some simple exercises that you can do at home. Right? Doing some simple body weight squats, push-ups, some core exercises, sit-ups, mountain climbers, burpees, lunges. So these are examples of what you would do for high intensity type exercises. And this is something that's been around for a while now, and they found that when you work harder over a shorter period of time, it stimulates your body to secrete a lot of growth hormone. It stimulates your muscles to break down and build up a lot faster. It really kickstarts your metabolism. So the way this works is for a short period of time, like 20 to 60 seconds, you work as hard as you can, right? Whatever that exercise is, as hard as you can, to your tolerance. And then you take a break, like a 20, 30 second to 60 second break. And what you want to do is you want everything to calm back down to its neutral level. So build up your heart rate, breathing hard, working hard, blood pumping, and then you want to calm down. Maybe move real slowly or just be still and let everything calm back down. And then pick it back up again and then let it calm back down. And then pick it back up again and let it calm back down. That's what this high intensity training does. It's not just about pounding yourself for 20 minutes straight. That's a totally different thing, right? That can have some benefits, but this is like a super hack. You're going to get 10 to 15 times the results doing it this way. And it only takes like 15 minutes. You don't have to do it very long. You can even do it as little as 10 minutes and get the same workout you would in 30, 45, or even 60 minutes of exercise. Pretty cool. All right, so if you're busy, this is something that you want to do. You want to start using these, right, and just do as many sit-ups as you can in 30 seconds, and then lay there for 30 seconds, and then do it again, right? And so this type of exercise is a really good way to get your body moving in the right direction. And even if, whatever it is, you could do it on the bike, you could do it swimming, right? Don't just like lay there and sink to the bottom, but swim a hard lap and then take a break. Like, there's different ways that you can do it no matter what level you're at, but just the way you do it makes a bit of a difference. So there's all different types of exercise for everybody. Low impact, high intensity, and you want to mix them around, right? Because if you mix them around, you want to get them in there, but you do need some level of resistance to challenge your system. It's what keeps your skeletal system strong. It's what keeps your muscles strong. Like, we need to keep your bodies moving so they don't break down. Now you may be looking at this like, hey, I do all this stuff. I exercise, I pay attention to my stress and I do all these things, but still I have all these problems, right? Because when you can't escape or eliminate the stress, your body's always under insult and it can't rest and relax and heal. Or maybe it's been under stress for so long, the systems that are designed to adapt to stress, they're just not working anymore. And they need more specific help to be able to get there. So when you look at life, sometimes you're just bombarded by ongoing chronic stress. You have a major life situation, you have a major health concern, you have an illness, there's people around you that are constantly creating stress, or you've created this environment, and the brain keeps getting the signal of stress, 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 stress over again, all day, every day, chronically, over weeks, months, years. And then it keeps going back and it sends this little signal to your adrenal glands, these small little glands that sit on top of your kidneys, that says stress, stress, boom, secretes these chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, right? We're ready for a fight. We're ready to run away. It's time to go. All those things that we talked about under stress, all that stuff happens again and again and again and again, over and over and over again, right? And then eventually it creates this burnout where it's like, I can't do this anymore. Nothing left. I can't hear your message. I can't send your response. It's not working. So what happens? Systems start shutting down. Systems don't work anymore. Digestion shuts down. Hormones shut down. Insulin sensitivity goes away. Immune system shuts down. All these problems start happening because your body has to survive, so it has to sacrifice things to survive, right? It's like any other system. If you're overwhelming your car, boom, system shut down. You're overwhelming your computer, you run 84 programs, you never shut it down, you haven't updated it in 2 years, boom, this stops working. Boom, that stops working. Boom, this stops working, right? And then eventually the whole system shuts down, right? That's the same thing that happens in your body. So to help you understand this a little bit more, we're actually designed to eliminate stress. That's what's normal. You have all these systems to eliminate stress in all ways, physically, chemically, mentally. These systems are very well designed. The main system that does this is what's called the HPA axis. Now we're not going to get too much into it, but it's a part of your brain, it's a part of your nervous system, and it connects your adrenals to your brain and your nervous system. That's all you really need to know. That's the system that regulates stress. So we have stress, it goes to your brain sends a signal down to the adrenals, says, hey, there's stress. What do we do? It says, oh, we got to release the chemicals. Let's go. Cortisol goes up. Blood sugar goes up. Adrenaline goes up. Digestion, what do we say? Down. Heart rate up. And it just keeps going, right? And then that creates more stress. And then the brain says, okay, we got more stress. And then it keeps going and going and going, right? And eventually, it doesn't hear that message anymore. So this stuff just stays like this. And it's always that way. And now we have high blood pressure. We have diabetes. We have stress problems. We have weight gain, right? So when you look at it, and when you're getting all these systems connected together, it affects your energy, your hormones, your mood, digestion, immunity, so many more things. When it stops functioning, it creates all these problems, right? Although your body's designed to be healthy, it can only handle so much. And when it just keeps getting bombarded all the time and we don't change it, it creates problems. Immune system problems, thyroid, digestion, sleep, chronic pain, depression, hormone imbalances, infections, the list goes on and on and on. And these are what people end up in the doctor's office for, they end up in the hospital for, they're taking medications for, but never really addressing why. They're not taking care of the stress, they're not healing the adrenals, they're not reconnecting the brain and the body, they're dealing with all of this. So if we just keep treating this, what's going to happen? Is it going to get better? No, it's not going to get better. Even if the stress goes away, it still doesn't get better because the system is still damaged. It needs to be healed. So that's why we want to go through and actually look at the cause of the problem. So in your packet here, this would be the page like 3, looks like this. This is your health survey. And nobody has to see this. This is just for you. And there's only 5 questions. Sleep and energy, weight loss, digestion, hormone, mood, and anxiety. So what you want to be able to do here, 1 indicates that I have no problems. No problems at all, perfectly fine. And 7 is, this is a big problem for me. It's something that plagues me, I deal with it all the time, right? 4 is like pretty consistent, not all the time. 5 and 6 are pretty high too. So take a few minutes and just really check in with yourself and be honest. Where am I in these areas? so that way you know where to focus. So the reason why we do this is because we want to make sure we're not missing any health issues that are going on. Like I said at the beginning, we want to be the answer for as many people as possible in all ways that we can in their health, right? We don't want to just be taking care of one thing and missing another problem that leads you back to the doctor's office or that leads to another health issue. And we've been doing this long enough now, we know too that there's not just one pathway for everybody, and that's the fix-all, right? There are certain things that you can do that make a big difference, and we've already been talking about a lot of these things. Even already, if you just focus on sleeping better this year, you would have more energy, am I right? You'd be healthier. Even if you just focus on exercising a little bit more and in a better way this year, you would have more energy and you'd be healthier, right? If we took better care of our bodies and made our health and our self-care and our life more of a priority, you would have more energy. You would have a better year. You'd be stressed. Even if you just did the stuff we talked about up to this point, your life would be better. Am I right? Yes. But for some people, they need to do a little bit more. They need more help. They need to be pulled out of this old thing. And to do that, we have to understand what's going on, right? So what we do is we do these tests, right? So doing tests is a really good way. There's a million tests out there, right? You've probably done tests with your doctor. You may have done tests here or there, right? We want to get the tests that look at the most things. So we have this at-home saliva test, which actually goes through and measures the daily rhythm of stress in your body and how your body's handling it. Really, really important to understand. If you know how your body deals with stress on every level possible, it'll change your life. One of the things that we do when we do our initial health evaluations is the heart rate variability and the nerve system scans. How's your body dealing with stress? When we look at this metabolically, how is your body dealing with stress? We can see so many different things. It's superior to blood tests. It tests the HPA axis like no other test that's out there. So we're actually looking, how is your brain talking to your adrenals? How are the chemicals moving in your body? How is your body adapting throughout the day? So what it also looks at is your digestive function, inflammation, hormone balance, potential infections, and so much more. So all the kind of things that people are dealing with in a chronic health situation will show up when we look at these. And this is what the test looks like. We actually look at your rhythm imbalances. So this is a person that's chronically stressed. So this green zone, this is the normal zone. Morning, afternoon, and night. So typically when you wake up, your stress is higher, right? Your body's like, time to wake up, time to get all the systems going. Right? This is a person that wakes up immediately stressed, and their stress is poof, pounded through the whole day. This is not good. Fatigue, depression, hormone problems, chronic pain, not healthy, right? Is there a pill that's going to fix this? Nope. Even if this person exercised, for this person, more exercise isn't necessarily a better thing. There's different things that we need to do. There's not a fix-all for everybody. This is a totally different person, right? You can see this. Now it's way below. So this is when this person has been there for so long, it's just stuck down here now. So nothing works anymore. You wake up, you're tired all day, you're tired at the end of the day, right? Thyroid problems, bloating, anxiety, weight gain, fibromyalgia exists down here, all kinds of problems, right? It's just like poof, everything's just shutting down. That was that left side, low parasympathetic. It's not working anymore. Body's like, I'm done. I can't do this. Everything shuts off. And this is somewhere in the middle, right? It's like, okay, well, I'm okay here, but then I drop here, right? I wake up fine, but I have this crash in the middle of the day. Or, I got to have that second cup of coffee or I'm just no good after 4 o'clock, right? We don't want that. We don't want that either. Fatigue, depression, hormone problems, they're all kind of dealing with similar stuff, but there's a different problem that's causing it. And they need a totally different level of care. You would never know that if you didn't do a test. That's why testing is so important. That's why we do x-rays when you come in for chiropractic care. Right? If you just said it hurts here and we push on that, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get better. Right? That may not be the problem. And most of the time it's not. The problem's coming from somewhere else. And so to know what's going on, you have to test, you have to look, right? And so that's why we started doing this here. And normally for doing the test and the consult meeting, it's $349 is going to be what we're doing here over the course of the year. Just $299 for you guys being here today. So if you're thinking like, hey, I want to take my health to the next level and look at some of these issues, talk to Lisa. Lisa's our health nutrition coach. She's here to help everybody work through these. She's been working really hard on learning all this and bringing the protocols and helping patients through it. And we're already seeing that it's making a difference for people. I'm doing it myself and getting that process going. So I'm really excited about what it's going to do for my health and everything else too. I try out everything that we do here. we live what we teach. Right? Integrity is one of our high things here. Like we are very congruent, right? We do this stuff. I do all this stuff that we talk about here today. I'm doing the test. I did it. And I'm following the protocols right now, right? Because I want to be healthy. That's important for me. I can't do what I do if I wasn't. And when I don't take care of myself, it shows up. So this test is huge. So if you got a 5 or a 6 or a 7 on any of these, it's indicating that you need this. You need it. You're already over here. And your body's telling you, boom, 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 that engine light is on, right? It's going. Time to replace the filter. Time to take it to the mechanic. There's something going on. You can't keep ignoring it. If you're at that 5, 6, 7, you definitely need it, right? That's a must for you. If you're below that, 3, 4, it's probably still a good idea. Wouldn't you want to know what's going on? And waiting until you get like the worst case scenario, you could catch it earlier, which means the recovery is going to be better. The process is going to be easier. It's going to cost less time and money, right? The longer you wait on things, is it always easier or harder? Harder. Is it going to cost more or less? More. It's going to cost more, right? Going cheap now, putting it off now is going to cost more later. Always. There's no place in life again where that doesn't happen, right? You can get away with it now, but it's going to catch up to you. So number 2 is toxins. This is a big one too. Right? We're under a lot of chemical stress. And when you look at it, we're exposed to hundreds, thousands of toxins every single day. And your body's meant to deal with that. We have all these really cool systems. We have kidneys, and we have a lymphatic system, and we have liver and digestive system, and so many different things that are designed to catch toxins, to eliminate them, to process them, and keep your body healthy. That's totally normal. The problem is that they're around us all the time. They're constantly there. And so when you have more than your body can handle, just like other times of stress, it creates issues. So if you haven't seen these before, these are 2 things to look at: your cleaning products, your cosmetics, your personal care products. Take a quick picture, right? It's a QR code. Also in your packet, after the workout section, is the top 22 toxins that you're exposed to. So these are things that exist very highly in our life. It exists in your shampoo, and it exists in your clothes, and your cleaning products, and your toothpaste, and your deodorant. All the things that we use now are so toxic latent, unfortunately, especially here in America. We use a lot of things that are banned in most countries, but we use it still consistently, commercially, because it's cheap. It's easy for you to be able to do. It's sometimes effective for what it does, but it doesn't mean that it's healthy for you. So you want to start looking for these in your life, because part of the things is to stop or slow down. If we can stop creating so much toxicity, your body can better handle it, and it can deal with what everything else is going on. If your brain is full of stress and your body's full of toxicity and physically you're unhealthy, man, that's the perfect storm. That's what leads to disease, because your body just is not working. But if we can get the systems back online, and we can get the toxic burden lower, and we can get the mental, emotional, spiritual burden lower, and we can get the physical burden lower, all of a sudden things start working better. And you have more energy, and you feel better, and it compounds and it builds, and you get better and better. And the main thing we want to do is stop treating the symptoms, because medications is the number 1 cause of toxicity. Number 1. And it's the 4th leading cause of death in our country. Number 4. Isn't that crazy?
Did it just recently pass up DUI?
If you really look at it, it's actually number 1. If you take all medical care combined, it's number 1. But medications alone is number 4. So way above accidents and injuries. Because number 1 is heart disease. Number 2 is cancer. Right? Number 3, I think, is like diabetes. And then number 4 is this. That's crazy, right? So all the things you're taking to treat the top 3 are killing you faster. So if we can actually prevent those things and the need for medications. Now, is there a need for medications sometimes? Absolutely. Is there people that their lives are saved by medications? 100%. Right? And sometimes you get to that point where you need something, and thank goodness that it exists. It has saved a lot of people, but it's not supposed to be used forever. You're not supposed to be on blood pressure medications the rest of your life. You're not supposed to be on cholesterol medication or painkillers or all these things forever. But what happens when you get it prescribed? It's forever. There's no end date. There's no like, oh, we're going to do this for 3 months and see what happens. Typically next time it's like, well, we're going to add the second one in. And it just keeps going and going and going. And that's unfortunately just how the system works, right? It's not your doctor's fault. It's the system, right? Just how it's designed, because it's ran by the pharmaceutical companies who directly advertise it to you, which is insane. There's only 2 countries in the world that do that. And Weirdly enough, they take the most medications, and their health is right down at the bottom. It's us and Australia. Only 2 countries that allow that. It's banned in every other country. You cannot direct market medications to consumers. But America, poof. It's like the highest one that's out there. It's crazy, right? And you wonder why we take the most medications and we have the worst health. Because you go to your doctor and it's like, hey, I need to take this pill. And if you don't get it from that doctor, they're going to go to the next one. And it's crazy. And doctors are stressed about this too. 4th leading cause of death. This is the saddest one. Over-the-counter medications hospitalize 100,000 Americans per year. You don't think about that. You think it's safe. Like, I'm going to go to CVS. I'm going to pick up some ibuprofen or aspirin or Pepto-Bismol or whatever. Hospitalizes 100,000 per year and kills 16,000 people. Over the counter, stuff that you don't need a prescription for, you could walk into the store right now and get. And this isn't just overdoses. This is taking the stuff consistently, leading to health problems. So it's not safe. Average of 70 side effects per pill. That's if you're taking just one. What if you're taking 2 or 3? They were never studied like that. They don't know what's happening. It's an experiment happening every single time in your body. So although these can help you get through an acute situation right now, if you just keep doing this, it's leading to more and more and more problems. That's why we're looking for natural, drug-free solutions. So when you take that and you add on top of it the 3 million tons of pesticides and herbicides and chemicals that's put in our food every single year, it leads to health problems. Because it just overwhelms what your body can do. So the quality of what you put in your body makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. So you want to look for these, USDA organic. That means they're not using the pesticides and the herbicides and it was grown in a more natural way. You want to look for non-GMO. Glyphosate is one of the biggest toxins that's in our food that's part of the genetically modified food. So you want to get non-GMO, you want to get organic, you want to get quality. Like if you think about where did this thing come from, can I get it from that source? If it's a fish, it should live in the ocean, right? And should eat ocean food. It shouldn't be grown and being fed corn and GMO foods. If it's a cow, they should be ranging in a pasture and eating grass. That's what's normal. They shouldn't be in a big giant warehouse being fed GMO grain. That's not normal. A chicken should be pecking around the yard, not in a big giant warehouse, right? That's not healthy, but what do we eat? We eat all these industrial foods that are sick, that make us sick. So we want to try to avoid that as much as possible. And you want to start getting the energy producing foods, right? Everybody knows a piece of chocolate cake is not energy producing. A cheeseburger from McDonald's, is that energy producing? No, of course not. A giant burrito? No. Things that are producing are healthy foods from the earth like coconut oil and olive oil and healthy fats. Ton of great vitamins and nutrients and minerals. This is what your body needs. Greens, right? All the colorful stuff is full of antioxidants and nutrients and vitamins and minerals. That's what your body needs. We need healthy meats, grass-fed beef, wild-caught salmon. We need vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, sprouted nuts and seeds. See, even he agrees. We need healthy things. So get these in your environment. Eat good stuff. If you want to be healthy, you need to eat things that are healthy. They go directly together. So when we look at nutrition plans, right, we don't want to be on a diet per se. Nobody loves being on a diet, right? We want to do something that's sustainable, that gets us the things that we want. The biggest nutrient that most people are missing is actually fat. Most people don't eat enough healthy fat. We want to avoid the bad fats. You know, we don't want the unhealthy fats, but we want the good fats. We want the coconut. We want the avocado. We want the fatty meats, like the good stuff, because the fat is actually really healthy for you. It's what makes up all your cell membranes. It makes up your brain and nervous system. It gives you more energy. When you eat more fat, you actually have more energy. It's your primary source of energy, right? It's that good fuel that you need. So if you're deficient in fats, if you're deficient in proteins, your body takes it from other areas. And it takes it from your skeletal system. It takes it from your organs. It takes it from your cells and your brain and your nervous tissue. And health problems show up. So we want to get a variety of fruits and vegetables. We want to get healthy, natural, sprouted and ancient grains. There's a big difference between a piece of Wonder Bread and a sprouted organic piece of maybe sourdough or an ancient grain. Totally different makeup. It's not bread is the same. It's different. The types of stuff that you're eating. And then the advanced plan, right? This is what you do when things are out of balance. So one of the things that gives you more energy this year is to balance your blood sugar. Keep your blood sugar more stable throughout the day. We don't want peaks and valleys, right? You don't want to be starving and hungry and getting a headache and feeling bad, but you don't want to be over full and like, I can't move, right? You don't want to have these huge jumps in blood sugar that throws off your energy. So the core plan helps balance your blood sugar because we're eating fats, we're eating healthy nutrition, we're not having gigantic or tiny meals. We're consistently maintaining blood sugar throughout the day. So you're going to have more sustained type of energy. The advanced plan is when your blood sugar is out of balance. It's not working anymore. The advanced plan allows it to reset. This resets your blood sugar because now we're getting rid of all sugar. We're getting rid of all grains. We're getting rid of high sugar fruits. We're getting rid of any processed foods. This is the healing nutrition. And once things balance back out, you go back to the core plan. If you have health challenges, you stay here. We want a ton of fat. We want all good proteins, very little grains here, very little sugars, because that's how the blood sugar resets. Just like the stress systems can get burned out, so does your pancreas, so does your insulin. If it's constantly getting sugar all the time, eventually it stops producing insulin, you have diabetes. But some people are pre-diabetic or they're type 2 diabetes. These can be reversed. These can be turned around. There's a different type of diabetes, type 1, which is an autoimmune disorder, which happens for a totally different reason. Right? That one can still be improved by following a similar system because you need less insulin. And when you need less insulin, it doesn't damage your body. So no matter where you are, even if it's not reversible, it could still be improved significantly by changing these habits. Another huge component that many people are missing is minerals and vitamins for your energy. You gotta have certain minerals and vitamins for your body to work right. It does not happen anyway, and there's no skipping out on it. And the sad part is, it's not enough in our food. It's just not. Because of the modern farming practices, because of all the pesticides and herbicides and over farming the land and weak soil and everything else, the nutrient density is just not there. It's not. So we're missing out on certain things. So when we look at this here, this is the daily essentials for men and for women. I take this every single day. It is a staple. I go on vacation, I put them in my bag, right? I got them in the back right now. This is essential because it has what you need. It's why it's called essential. So this is just the back. So when you look at the vitamins that are most important for energy, number one is your fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin D, A, K, and E. Those are the fat-soluble vitamins that you absolutely need for energy. Vitamin D being one of the most important ones that primarily comes from the sun. How much sun are we getting right now? Not very much, right? You need at least 5,000 IU of vitamin D per day, which is 70-80% exposure to the sun for 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your skin tone and other factors, right? How many people are getting that right now? Not me. Nope. So I supplement with vitamin D every day. You don't just not take vitamin D for 4 months. That creates problems. You need that. Now you can't just take vitamin D because you need other things too. You need vitamin K to even absorb vitamin D. That's why you need vitamin K, right? You need vitamin E. You need vitamin A, right? You need all these different things for the system to work properly. All of these are in here at the levels that you needed. I've been studying a lot on this and I went back and double checked today to make sure, are the levels in our stuff the level that they're recommending, not what your doctor recommends, right? The RDA is like the very low level right before you're in disease, right? Right before you're at rickets. Okay, just above that, that's vitamin D. That's it, right? That's not it. That's not it. You need to be 5,000 IU plus minimum. This has 2,000 plus in the packet. You also have a separate vitamin D, which is 5,000. So you're actually getting 7,000 IU of vitamin D a day just by taking one packet of this, which is $3 a day. $3 a day. That's less than a cup of coffee to get all the essential nutrients your body needs to have energy and to function optimally. You also need minerals. Now there's a bunch of other vitamins in here that we also need. There's adaptogens, there's things that help you balance with stress, there's antioxidant support, there's probiotic health, there's all kinds of good stuff in there. But you also need minerals. So minerals are calcium, magnesium, selenium, sodium, all these different things, right? You need these as well. Zinc. You can't absorb vitamin D without the right levels of zinc. You can't use the other ones without magnesium. You can't use those without having the right level of copper or to have the right amount of potassium or sodium. And so people are missing so many of these different things. And so you need to have minerals, which are also in here. All the minerals you need at the levels you need are in here. Also, there's extra magnesium because most people are deficient in magnesium. That's one of the big ones. That's one of the ones that helps you sleep. That's one that's good for your heart. That one is really good for the absorption of most of the vitamins that you take. You got to have magnesium, so it has its own magnesium in here. You also need omega-3 fatty acids. That's in here as well. Many people are deficient in B vitamins because when you're stressed, your B vitamins go down. When your digestion's off, you're not producing B vitamins. So there's B vitamins in there, right? So it has everything that you need to function optimally. So that's why it's part of energy bundles, because we need to get this in. Now you also need hydration. Dehydration robs your energy. If you're not drinking water, you're going to be more tired. So you should still be getting half your body weight in ounces per day. Now that may seem like a lot, right? And it's harder to drink enough water during the winter because you're not outside, it's not hot, maybe you don't feel thirsty, but your need for water is the same. So water intake is another great way to improve your energy. Sometimes if you feel hungry or tired, drink more water and you may feel better. You also want to make sure you drink good water. You don't want to just drink sink water or tap water or just bottled water. You want to get a good filter for your water. You want to make sure you're drinking healthy water because you don't want a bunch of chemicals in there. You don't want fluoride, you don't want chlorine, you don't want pesticides and herbicides that came from the drain of the farm, right? You want all that stuff taken out. So if you don't have a good water filter at home, that's a great investment to get because you drink water. It's an essential nutrient. Your body's mostly made of water. You got to have good hydration. And you want to make sure you're drinking out of the right things too. Just plastic bottles, they leach toxins into your body, right? You don't want to use a lot of the disposable ones. You don't want to use most plastics. You want to use stainless steel. You want to use glass, right? Something like this, stainless steel. Carry that around with you. That's a good receptacle for water because otherwise you're leaching things into the water and you're not getting the healthy sources that you need. So set yourself up for success. One thing that's really huge too is electrolytes. Most people are deficient in electrolytes, especially if you're stressed. If you're stressed, your sodium's going to be through the floor. Your magnesium's going to be off, right? You need these things. So one of the ones that I've been really liking is Element. There's a lot of packets out there that have sucralose and they have artificial flavors and they have a bunch of junk in them. And they're using the cheap form of these things here. So there's different forms too, right? There's a different form of magnesium. There's a different form of zinc. There's a different form of vitamin D. There's vitamin D2. There's vitamin D3, right? There's different ways to take the vitamins. And there's a way that's synthetic that your body doesn't use and absorb, that's unhealthy, and there's a better natural way, which is what it uses here. Right? So we use the things that's correct. Sodium, you need sodium and potassium together. This is so important. You have this sodium-potassium pump, which bring nutrients into your cells and out. So typically people will have one or both out of balance. So you got to have both. And you need magnesium too. So look at all the cool things that electrolytes do. I do these every morning now. I take electrolytes every single day because it really helps. And there's all kinds of different flavors. If you guys have never tried them, we have them up front. They're like $2. Try them out, see how they go. If you want to get the box, we have those available here as well. I encourage you to try them. They taste pretty good. You can put them in, there's different types of drinks that they can make. They have warm ones, so you can drink it as like a chocolate or as a warm drink as well. So there's different ways to enjoy them. And you just basically take one packet and mix it with water. You can mix it with tea or a smoothie. It is a little bit salty, right? So kind of give it to flavor. You get used to it a little bit, but you don't want to put it in just like a tiny little one because it'll be quite salty. But mix it in like a good sized cup. Tastes pretty good. I do encourage you highly to try this because it has the minerals that you need. We need these minerals. And if we tested, 90% or more people, they're deficient in these. And just this alone is going to make a big difference. And this helps your other systems work better. So you have these detox systems. We need those to work better, right? When your body's overtoxic and your liver is overworked and your pancreas is overworked and your intestines are overworked and your kidneys are out of balance, your body can't process the stuff anymore. So it's still coming in. Your body can't use it. It starts pouring over. Now it's a skin problem. Now it's headaches. Now it's a digestive problem. Now it's an autoimmune disorder. It's chronic fatigue. It's chronic joint pain. It's nervousness. It's insomnia. It's muscle stiffness. It's bad vision, brain fog, anxiety, memory loss, low energy. The effects start showing up, just like the mental effects and the chemical effects, right? They're showing up now because your body can't deal with the toxins anymore. So we need to eliminate them from our environment, right? We know the top ones. We know the sources to look at. We need to cleanse the system. So as we're doing these things and we're eliminating toxins and we're doing these healthy activities, toxins are going to start to be released into your body. If you don't do a detoxing to catch these, they're going to move somewhere else, right? You don't want to do that. So you want to make sure you're doing some detoxing. So the energy system we talk about today is going to be the daily essentials plus the detox, because that's part of recovery is detoxing. If you're not doing detoxing regularly, it's cleansing out the systems. It's pulling the burden off the kidneys and off the liver and off your gut. You got to do it. It's got to be part of your routine. You just can't get around it. Our life is too toxic to not do it. Even if you're living healthy, you still got to do it. So you should be doing that at least every 90 days, right? Make sure you get the detox system. It happens in two parts. You do a cell detox, which strengthens all the detox pathways. So it's actually making your detox systems work better, right? That's number one. And it's pulling the toxins out of the systems so we can bind to them and get them out of your body. That's phase two. So you take this one in the morning, afternoon. You take this one in the evening. One of the best things that has been invented is activated charcoal. It's amazing because it binds to all the different stuff. It's not good for any individual thing. It's good for everything. So as we're pulling out these toxins and we're exercising and we're changing our habits and we're eating better, now you got toxins floating around your body we need to bind to, and that's what the activated charcoal does, the body detox, right? It binds to this stuff and safely eliminates it out these systems. So you can do this over 30 days. There's a more advanced way to do this. We just started working with Cellcore. Cellcore is awesome. It's one of the best research supplement companies. It's a practitioner-only type company. I'm on phase 4 right now. As I've been going through this, it's awesome. We go through 4 phases: energy and drainage, gut and immune system, whole body immune support, systemic detox, and this will be next, deeper immune support. So you're actually going through this multi-month process of detoxing your body, strengthening your systems, improving your immune system, improving your gut, improving your drainage, improving your energy, right? All through natural processes. This is part of the functional medicine testing and things that we're doing once we know what's going on. You don't want to just start taking all these things. You want to know what you need to take and how you need to take it and what else goes along with it. And there's other support that goes along the way too. So this is more advanced, right? This is if you're 5, 6, 7, or you want to get more into it and you want to get that guidance. That's going to be part of the functional nutrition testing. So make sure you talk to Lisa about that before you go today. There's even a QR code on here as well. I've been loving QR codes. I think they're so cool. They're so easy to use, right? You just bring it up on your phone and poof, it pops right up. So if you want to learn more about any of these things, right, we have QR codes for it. You have the sheet in here that I think was like page 2 or 3 that talked about it. Looks like this, right? This talks all about it. If you want to learn more, like, hey, is this a good fit for me? What's in it? All the information's right in here. Talks about how it all goes together, how it works. Makes a big difference. Highly encourage you to do it. If you want to have more energy this year, great way to do it. Investing in your health, getting stuff taken care of. Now, the last one is physical traumas. We all have physical stress to some degree, right? Many of us have had major traumas. You had a car accident. You had a work injury. You had a sports injury, right? You broke something. You damaged something. A lot of things happen. And what I see most of the time is people have these injuries and they get patched up and it heals wrong. It doesn't heal right. It heals subluxated. It heals with scar tissue. It heals out of position. And it creates this recurring breakdown process over time that leads to more injuries and more problems, right? Because you go into the doctor and you break something and they patch you up, which is good. But then you're left on your own for the rest. And if you don't fix the problem, now that it's been injured, it's going to create more problems later on down the line. And you may not feel the effects for a year or 5 years or 10 years, right? It's like, oh, I had that accident 15 years ago, and we take an x-ray of your spine and it's totally degenerated. It's like, well, that's not good. It took a decade to look that way, but you didn't feel the symptoms for that period of time. The most common one is micro trauma. And this is one we're on all the time, right? How many people have their desk as their laptop and the kitchen table or the couch or your bedroom? How ergonomic is that, right? Sitting is the new smoking. We spend so much time sitting, and it puts 2 to 3 times the pressure on your spine and the discs, and it creates this sedentary breakdown. What about device use, right? Who doesn't have one of these now? It's everywhere. When you stand up straight in a neutral posture, your head weighs 12 pounds. 12 pounds, that's pretty heavy, right? That's like a bowling ball. And you have this curve in your neck to support the weight of your head, and that's what's normal. And your neck your spine can handle 12 pounds. No problem. No issues at all. Your spine will never degenerate with the curve in your neck holding 12 pounds. But what about this? Just 15 degrees forward, 27 pounds, over double. That's just this. Just this. That's just enough to look down, right? What if you have your laptop? You're looking down the entire time. What if that's 4, 5, 6 hours? Pretty crazy, right? 30 degrees, 40 pounds. Your neck's not meant to deal with that. That's not normal. That's why we see all these kids, their neck looks like this. It's the reverse way. And they got headaches, and they got migraines, and they got health problems. What about this? Which is what most people do. When you see someone on their phone, what are they like? They're like dug into that thing, right? 50 pounds plus. That's a huge stress. Your body's not meant to deal with that stress. And your spine is like a suit of armor. It protects your brain and nervous system. It's what regulates all that communication. It passes right through your spine, out the nerves, and controls your whole body. How you detox, how you manage hormones, oxygen and blood flow, digestion, all happens through the spine. So if we're constantly damaging the spine from injuries and daily stress and repetitive stress, what's that doing to your nervous system? Healthy or sick? Yeah. And now the system designed to deal with stress, these 3 stresses, your nervous system regulates how your body deals with these stresses. If we damage that system and it's not adapting to stress, even if we ate better, even if we did the detox, even if we exercise more, you're still not healthy because the system designed to deal with stress is not working. That's why chiropractic is number 1. You look at subluxation. Subluxation isn't just a misalignment. That's only one part of it. It's tissue damage. It's inflammation. It's nerve irritation. It's loss imbibition. Imbibition is the movement of your spine that pumps nutrition to your brain. 90% of the nutrition in your brain comes from movement of the spine. If your spine's stiff and degenerated and not moving, what's that doing to your brain? It's breaking down. Dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease, all these brain degenerative issues comes from lack of movement of the spine. You get joint fixation. You get tight, you get tense, you can't bend over, you can't turn your head. You're stuck off to the side like this. It elevates your stress hormones. Subluxation is a stress. Chronic subluxation puts you in fight or flight. Your nervous system will not work with subluxation. It's literally impossible. This is what healthy looks like. This is what happens when your disc starts to break down. It can bulge. If you've ever had a bulging disc pushing on a nerve, you know what I'm talking about. Not comfortable, excruciating. Sometimes you get pain down the leg. You can't sit down. You can't bend over. You can get a herniation, which is way worse. It's when the bulge gets worse and is now compressing your spinal cord. Maybe you lose function of your leg and you can't walk and it starts to atrophy. Not good. The disc breaks down and thins. Eventually it degenerates. You don't want this happening to your spine. This is not a normal part of aging at all. We're designed to be here. But we have all these physical stresses. We don't take care of our spine. We judge our health by how we feel, and you only feel 10%. 10%, that's it. 90% of what regulates your health, 90% of what comes through your spine, you don't feel. You don't feel it. The only way to know is to test for it. So how do we know? Well, we check. We do certain types of tests. Every time you come in, we check. We feel around. We look at your posture. We see how things are moving. That way we know which areas need to be adjusted that day. Over time, we evaluate x-ray. We do scans. We do different types of tests so that way we can see how's the nervous system working? How's your brain talking to your body? What does it look like? And chiropractors are the only doctors trained to detect and correct subluxation. No other doctor is qualified to tell you what's going on with your spine. None of them. There's surgeons, there's neuros, these people, they can look at it and they can say, oh yeah, you have damage here. Oh yeah, your disc is damaged. We can fuse that, we can cut that off, but they don't know how to fix the problem. And so if your doctor says don't go to your chiropractor, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't. They have zero training on this. They have no idea what's going on. If there's a real problem that's going on, we'll know it. We'll be able to look at what's going on. I've dealt with those issues. I've had people said, don't go to your chiropractor, that are now canceling surgery, that are now living a pain-free life, that are now healthy. I've had people say, don't do that, that's unsafe. And they were taking 4 or 5 medications that were going to kill them. Now they're not taking any of those. They're all gone. They're off oxy, they're off muscle relaxers, they're off gabapentin, all gone. Their doctor said all these are safe, but chiropractic is unsafe. You know how many people chiropractic kill every year? 0. 0. Zero. You have a better chance of dying from ibuprofen than chiropractic care. How many people take that just during the day, but they're afraid to go get checked? This is the safest thing you can do. Our malpractice is less than my car insurance. Because we don't hurt people. We don't kill people. It's safe. How much is your doctor's malpractice insurance? It's their biggest bill. It's their biggest bill. If you ask them, thousands of dollars. Ours is so cheap. It's like nothing. I don't even think about it. Because it's super safe. Extremely safe, especially the way we do it. So when you look at subluxation, it causes nerve irritation. It interferes with your body's ability to heal, and it creates health response. So when we adjust you, this is what's so cool. Here's what happens. The blood pressure goes down. Your heart rate regulates. Your muscle tone reduces because the stress response changes. Your digestion improves. The healthy hormones to your brain get better. Your sensory systems balance. Your fear, stress, and anxiety goes down because we're regulating what's going on with your nervous system. Your blood sugar balances. Your immune response improves. Your cholesterol balances. These things get better because it allows your brain to regulate that function, and we're removing the interference. Like a short circuit to the system gets taken away. The system starts working better. So one of the best ways to recover better this year and have more energy is to make sure that you stay focused on your chiropractic care. It makes a big difference because it's balancing your nervous system. Now there's lots of other cool things you can do for recovery as well. You could do foam rolling. You could do massage. We do whole body vibration. If you research what's into this, have you guys ever read this little thing on here that talks about all the benefits? All kinds of stuff. It's not just shaking you around. It's affecting multiple systems in your body. There's hot and cold therapy. There's cryotherapy. There's saunas. We have a cold laser here. If you never experienced this, it's actually healing the mitochondria of your cells. It's speeding up recovery of cells and damaged tissue 50 to 60%.
That's an awesome thing.
Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
If you've used it, it works. That's why it's here. We have spinal decompression. If you damage a disc, you have a bulge or a herniated disc, this sucks that back in. You don't got to cut it off. You don't got to fuse it. You can naturally, non-surgically help repair those discs over time through decompression therapy. Shockwave therapy helps break up damaged tissue and stimulates healing in your body. Anti-inflammatory diets, supplements. A lot of times they'll recommend joint health supplements and curcumin and collagen because that actually builds up the joints, right? We don't want to do something that breaks down the joints like a lot of medications, things like prednisone or an injection like a steroid injection breaks down your skeletal system and your joints faster, where these things will build it back up, right? Totally different. That's why we give you home care, because the home care is designed to help improve the health of your spine. So doing that neck traction every day is hydrating your neck and upper back. Doing the wobble disc every day is hydrating your pelvis and your lower back. So if you just did those things every day, it's like brushing your teeth, and you would have a healthier spine. And we saw all the benefits of this. But home care alone is not enough, right? Home care is part of the system. And when you are getting adjusted and you're doing home care and you're making lifestyle changes, that's what really gets you better. That's what really changes your health in your life. So you don't want to use these things for pain or symptom relief. If you take just one thing away, symptom relief alone is not getting you healthy. That's getting you back to that middle spot, right? That danger zone. Health exists on that right side. That's corrective care. So you go through initial corrective care where you're coming in often, coming in 2 times a week, you're coming in 3 times a week, right? We're making a lot of changes quickly, but then you get better and that kind of tapers down a little bit. Maybe you're coming in once a week. I can tell you based upon the research and my experience, twice a month is like the lowest level where you can maintain your spinal health every other week. Anything less than that, your body's breaking down. The research shows it too. 2 weeks of subluxation, they found it starts creating joint fixation and degeneration. Just 2 weeks. Within 6 weeks, it's affecting those nerves. All the nerves that are regulating your health within 6 weeks. You may not feel it, but it's there. And it's happening. Right? And with all the stresses we have going on, everything we talked about today, if you don't take care of the number one system, how's your body going to be able to adapt? So all the people that have been here for years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, over 20 years of chiropractic care, right? I still attribute that to why I'm healthy. That's still the number one thing we do for our kids when they're having a problem. It's still the number one thing we recommend here in the office. And a lot of you get it because you're patients here, right? You've experienced the benefits. You see how it's changing your life and it's making you better. What I encourage you to do this year is tell more people about it, right? Because only like 7 to 8% of the population sees a chiropractor, and only like 1% sees a corrective chiropractor like our office. Most of them go a couple of times a year, whatever's on their insurance plan. Maybe they go to the joint here or there, but they're not using it like this, and they're not actually getting the real benefits of it.